My name is Patrick Kelly. I'm with Digital Watchdog. And this morning I am lucky enough to be joined by Dallan with PDK. Dallan, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me, Patrick.
Well, thanks for coming back. I mean, this is an exciting integration. Everybody's talking about it. And so formalizing this on a works with webinar is always a good thing. So we love having you. So for those that don't know about PDK, I'm going to let Dallan talk about the company and the product, and then we'll get into the integration. All right, go for
Beautiful.
it.
Thanks, Patrick. It's an honor to be here, everybody. I appreciate you giving me some time. A lot of people don't know this, but Digital Watchdog is the oldest integration partner with PDK. And we were very excited for it to be our first camera integration with our new PDK 2.0. And since then, it has led the way. It has more than double the amount of integrations than our next closest integration with 2.0. And for that, we thank our dealer partners who are out there, pushing PDK and Digital Watchdog and installing it. Um, I just want to get you guys familiar with ProdataKey so you guys can understand how we do business. Our mission as a company is to empower our partners through exceptional support and intuitive, secure solutions. One of the reasons why I bring this up is because, like Digital Watchdog, PDK is one of those companies that lives their core values. We live our mission. And that is why we have such a loyal dealer base is we are willing to do more than anyone else is willing to do to help you achieve your goals as a business, as a company, as a salesperson, or as an install tech. We want to make sure that everybody thrives and succeeds with our products. Going into ProdataKey, one of the things that we're known for is being mobile first. One of the things that sets ProdataKey apart from any of our next closest access control competitors is that PDK was built to be on the phone first. One thing that's special about that is that means that PDK has 100% functionality on your phone, on your tablet, or on your computer. Why does this matter to a salesperson, to a tech, or to a business owner? It's all about time. It frees up so much time. The average partner that switches to PDK saves about 25% more time. They have 25% more time to sell, to install, to do the things they need to do to grow their company. The reason is because you're not going to have to worry about not being able to do something because the battery on your laptop is dead. You'll be able to just jump on your phone and do it. And you're not going to have to run into obstacles and walls trying to figure out what works on your phone, but what doesn't work on your tablet and what doesn't work on the computer because it works across all devices. So that's really exciting. And we focus on three separate levels of access control. We focus on the integrator installer, which we go through 100%. We are not interested in competing with our dealer partners. We are starting to generate more end user leads, but 100% of those end user leads go to our dealer partners. 100% of the recurring revenue goes to our dealer partners. 100% of the install revenue goes to our dealer partners. We are not one of those companies that is looking out here, looking out to become your competitor. We want to help you succeed and dominate the industry. We also focus on your direct customers, usually the people that you're selling to, which are administrators or managers, owners of small businesses, owners of large businesses, and then the employee and the tenant. So we offer a delightful experience on all three of those levels as far as access control goes. One of the main highlights, it's kind of weird talking about this. It feels like we've always been a leader in this, but we have some really cool new features and improvements that we've done with the PDK.io platform. One of the biggest feedbacks we get from our dealer partners is that they love selling PDK because it is so different from our next closest competitor. If you look at most of the other access control options out there, the biggest difference between them is the color of their software. And while our color is also a differentiator, the way that our system is created as an app first makes it much easier to use. And so here are four of the newest improvements and added features that we've put into PDK.io. Number one is multi-site ready. Now, while we've always been able to manage multiple locations, we have improved this exponentially. We've made it easier and we've also made it less expensive. So being before the way that we used to charge our dealer partners would be per cloud node. And you guys know how business is. You create a product and then you find out how hard it is to change it down the road. And so we put it in our project list to make it easier for our dealer partners to manage 1, 5, 10, 100, 1,000 different locations. You can manage them independently, or you can manage them all as one single database. And so our goal is to make that as easy as intuitive as possible, being able to go into a system that has 25,000, 50,000 users and navigate that efficiently. We've also added system and health insights. As PDK moves towards creating the best dealer dashboard that exists in the market, system health and insights is one of the most important things. This allows you at a glance to see if there are any issues on any of your systems or customers with PDK. Early configuration. This allows you to start adding people, adding groups to a system before you even buy a single piece of hardware. This is really exciting from a sales perspective. One of the things we see, one of the best practices we see our most successful dealer partners do is when they are in their first interaction with a partner and they go into the demo, instead of using their demo site, they will literally create the customer that they're talking to within the PDK.io interface, and they'll start adding their names to it. And what this does is it creates a connection between that business and them, and they are seeing huge win rates by doing that. And early configuration also is a benefit if you have a whole bunch of sites and you need to get large databases logged in before your tech even steps foot on a location. And then extended management. This is something that we've always been able to do with our wireless implementation. However, now you're able to, no matter if there's internet, network, no matter what, as long as that system has a battery, it will continue to function normally for your end user customers. This has been a kind of bridge that has had to be built between on-prem systems and cloud-based systems. And now there is literally no reason why any end user customer should go with an on-prem system and deny you that recurring revenue. So just so everybody's aware, I think at this point in 2024, nobody has a question to the value of the cloud. During COVID, there were a record number of acquisitions. A lot of our partners were bought up or purchased by companies like Pi Barker. And the interesting thing is once they were purchased, they actually started to do more PDK than they were even doing before. And the thing that I found very interesting about that is that companies that are forward thinking, companies that care about the valuation of their company, they are focusing on cloud and recurring revenue. But in order to charge recurring revenue, you have to add recurring value. And so here's 8 quick points. This isn't everything, but here's 8 quick points that allow you to add some recurring revenue to your customers. Number 1, stay up to date. A lot of people don't know how annoying this is until they have a fire, a flood, or something that destroys their building and they don't have an up-to-date record of their access control and having to reprogram it. That right there can oftentimes be worth the recurring cost. Faster innovation. The interesting thing about ProdataKey and Digital Watchdog is both of these systems are the worst they're ever going to be when you install them. PDK and Spectrum, they just continue to get better, which is really exciting. It looks like, I just want to make sure, did we have, it looks like we have a question. So I'm gonna hit this question because I personally literally cannot keep going until I get this answered. It says, as a dealer who is sold to storage clients, what avenue do I have when the storage management companies require my client to give them the RMR after me selling the site due to my client wanting direct integration with storage software? That's a great question. So we have an integration with a company called Storables. They're one of the biggest storage softwares that are out there. So you guys have 2 opportunities. Number 1, you can create a competing software, right? Because really, when push comes to shove, we want to do the right thing for the end user customer. The other thing is you can partner with the storage company. These storage companies they have to work with dealers. They need dealers to install the products. And so they will most likely share in that recurring revenue, especially if you brought the lead to them. So if you have any other questions about that, reach out to me or any of my regional sales managers, and we can put you in touch with them. And we can make sure that you have a great experience with that. There are a lot of other storage softwares out there, and a lot of them allow you to resell them. So what many of our partners do is they will just resell a competing product that they can manage, and they've had great success with that. again, there's a lot of these companies, like Verkada or like Storables that kind of go out there and they compete with dealers. They really do. They don't have a ton of success competing with dealers, but when they do compete with dealers, they run into the wall of who's going to install this for me. And so that's led to companies like Storables changing their business model a little bit to be much more dealer friendly. And they realize that a lot of the dealers own the relationship with those storage companies. So, Ethan, if you've had a bad experience with that, I'd love to hear about it and see what we can do to make it right. Otherwise, we can put you in touch with the right people at the storage companies that we work with, where you can have a mutually beneficial relationship. So that's a great question. Thank you for that. Feel free to keep the live questions coming and I'll answer them. Going back into the value of the cloud, we talked about how both Spectrum and PDK-IO, they're as bad as they're ever going to be when you first install them. We continually update PDK-IO. We not only do bug fixes, but we add new features all the time that'll benefit your customers. And then if there are any special features that we feel can be monetized, obviously like Bluetooth, we give the dealer the ability to control that. So you can control access to these features that have so much value that they can be charged for. Everybody knows this. Every single year of ownership with a cloud system, it becomes 15% more cost effective to own a cloud system over an on-prem system. And that's if you do it right, right? IPVM Magazine and SDM Magazine have reported that basically with an on-prem system, most people update it for about 18 months and then they stop updating it. That's one of the biggest security problems with on-prem systems is that you have to remember, you have to pay a large out-of-pocket expense to be able to update those systems. That's where cloud comes in and makes sure that it's up to date without anybody having to worry about it. Scalability is huge. You can install a single door today and 80 doors tomorrow. It really doesn't matter. With PDK-IO, you can continue to build your customer sites to their need. Proactive support is huge. You can get a real-time notification about anything on the PDK-IO system, and this will allow you guys to stay up to date and even a lot of times stay ahead of any issues that your customers may have. And then something that is really, really becoming popular. Everybody probably has asked Patrick or I at some point, hey, are you ever going to integrate with so-and-so software, so-and-so software? Leo Des just came out with this big old infographic that shows all of the softwares that are in the security industry. There's about 3,000, all right? So, and it's growing every day. So it really is going to be impossible for us to integrate with everything. But the good news is it has never been more cost effective for a dealer to create their own integration the exact way that they want it and resell that to their customers. We're seeing a huge insurgence in this area. We're seeing dealers go to end users who have proprietary softwares, pay $2-3 grand to have an integration made, charge $6 grand annually for that integration, and support that customer at a high level with the exact integration and features that they're looking for. These are things that are available through the open API and SDK with PDK. So when we talk about streamlined installation, PDK is our president and CEO. He was an installer. He owned his own security business for 30 years, Evan Tree. It was down in Nevada and Arizona area as well. And he installed cameras and access control of every kind. So it's really cool to have someone with that kind of experience guiding our product, right? He was in the thick of it. He installed the product himself a lot of the time. And so he pointed out a lot of things that are really important. Number one, you guys know Prox has just been blown out of the water, to be honest with you. We're not getting hardly any requests for Prox anymore, especially when dealers take the initiative to update their end users on how easy it is to clone a Prox card. It's easier to clone a Prox card than it is a metal key. And what we don't want is to incentivize the market out there to go back to keys. So we offer PDK Red, which is a high security 256-bit encrypted high security option for credentialing. All of our devices are self-discoverable. In other words, plug and play. You plug them in, they pop up on PDK-IO, you name them, and you go from there. We offer real-time power monitoring. Obviously, part of that high security is OSDP, which is the two-way communication from the reader to the controller. And the cool thing about this allows you to change the color of the reader. It allows you to update the firmware of the reader. And this is another cool thing is you're not going to have to go and change out those readers every 2 years. You're going to be able to update the firmware on them. And then also Bluetooth credentials, which are taking the market by storm. People want to have everything on their phone. They don't want to have to carry a separate card or credential. And so Bluetooth is our fastest growing credential that we have. All right. So when we try to do things, when we try to save you time, simplicity is key. This is our basic hardware offering, excluding our readers. You can see one of our readers on the red pedestal, but PDK makes it super easy for you to do one door or 1,000 doors. It really doesn't matter. If you need to do it outside, we have solutions for that as well. So our main offering, it includes our cloud node. Our cloud node is a very special redundant piece of hardware, okay? This is one of the things that makes it possible for us to not have to have any inbound ports open on a network when you're installing a cloud-based system, right? PDK is one of the few cloud-based systems out there that requires no inbound ports to be open. This is very important to IT companies. It also allows very quick, snappy access granting, even if you're lacking network and internet or either or. We have really streamlined our controller offering. We have a Red 1 that has one reader port. We have a Red 2 that has two reader ports, and we have a Red 4 that has four reader ports. And as you guys know with OSDP, you can wire up to 4 readers per port depending on what the use case is. And our cloud node, our RCN cloud nodes all come with a single door controller attached to them. Our server-based cloud node does not. And then you can max it out. You can go to our Red Max that offers up to 24 reader ports, or you can use the R8 that comes with 8 reader ports. Every single PDK controller outside of the gate controller comes with power. So unless you're creating and designing your own power system, you will not have to worry about power. They all come with power. And the only reason the red gate doesn't come with power is because it is assumed that that will be tied into the gate power. So very easy to remember. This is one of the reasons why distributors love PDK is if you need 2 doors of control, it's an RCNE and it's a R1. Those are our partners. So here's just a quick look at our board and how we do some other types of communication. PDK controllers can come in 3 different flavors. They can come in our standard network. We can also use our proprietary wireless that boasts 485 feet indoors or 1 mile line of sight. We have a ton of vineyards in California and in Oregon. Some of them have over 6,000 feet between the main unit and the gate that have been working for years and years, and they function flawlessly. It looks like we have another question. Will there ever be an integration with certain alarm panels? Access control and security fall under the same category, and it would be nice to be able to manage alarm users as well. My answer to you is yes. And we're probably going to come out with a whole bunch of them at one time. We're under NDA with a whole bunch of alarm companies right now, making it so that you don't have to redundantly enter a whole bunch of names. It shares names, it shares events, and you can also trigger back and forth. Obviously, you can do that now with the hardware, but you can do it on a software level as well. So yes, I would say within the next year, you will see quite a few alarm integrations coming out with PDK. Thank you, Jamal. And then we have our PoE. All of these just plug onto the board. So if you ever order a standard R2, which is what this board is, and you find that you need to do PoE, you don't need to send that board back. All you need to do is grab a PoE board plug-in, plug it on the board, and you're going to get PoE++ on that board, which is going to give you 2 amps per port roughly. So that's plenty to work with. All right, guys, we're going to click play on this. I'm really excited to show you this. Now we're finally getting to what you guys want to see, which is the integration between Digital Watchdog and PDK. Oh, wait, this video is just showing you how PDK works. Boom, yes. We just added a person. I got ahead of myself. We have another video that's really exciting. But as you guys can see, the interface is super simple. You can create this user profile that you see right there. You can manage that, manipulate it. You can add, you can really put any custom profile or field that you want in the system. You can add custom rules. You can add group rules. You can see how easy the engine is to navigate. I can see a lot of familiar names in this meeting right here. So a lot of you already know how simple it is to use.
So let's go ahead and skip forward to the integration if that's okay with you, Dallan.
Totally fine with me.
Okay.
Yep. Is this the one?
And here we are. This
All
is
right,
the one.
guys, this is me. This is me doing this recording real time. So check this out. You go into our integrations tab, you select Digital Watchdog, you make it visible to the admin, you enable it, and you can configure it right there. The cool thing about this is the products that you offer are the only products your customer are going to see. So when you go in and make it visible to the admin, they're not going to see anything else in there, because sometimes there might be a competing product or two that is integrated with, but just know that you have control over who gets to see it. Literally, we just connected the digital watchdog cameras that we have here on site with our local cloud node, the PDK corporate office. So you can see this drop down. You can see all of the cameras or all of the doors that we have labeled right there. Once we select a door, we'll go back and show you. You can see right here. Now let's make one of these triggers available. So right now, the two features we have is we can do a lock and unlock trigger. So watch the coloration on that reader right there. We're going to click unlock. Boom. And then it saves over here on the right side. You guys can see that it saves all the events back and forth between PDK.io and Spectrum. And so every single event, every single time someone opens a door, you guys can go in and say, hey, I want 15 seconds before and after. I want 30 seconds before and after. I want to save all of these different events in video clips. And this is a very slick integration, you guys. And having seen a lot of the competitors out there, that are competing against PDK and Digital Watchdog because they have their own access control and cameras, this is light years ahead of what they're able to do. Some of them don't even have soft triggers. All they're doing is sharing data back and forth. So, I mean, literally, it took less than 30 seconds to find all the connected cameras. And then you simply go through and you can select which door you want to associate that camera with. Very easy to use, very easy to do. Patrick, what do you think about it?
Yeah, so the big things that I see with this integration is it's cloud to cloud. So you connect your
Yep.
DW Spectrum system to DW Cloud, and then PDK and DW Cloud can talk together to each other. So if you notice on the screen when they got to the point where they selected Digital Watchdog, I mean, all you're doing here is putting in your cloud credentials for DW Cloud, and that gets PDK communicating with our cloud. And then once you're logged into the system, once you've connected the system, it goes and fetches all the cameras. So it brings in every camera that you have on that DW Spectrum system, and now you can associate your access control device with the camera. So these radio buttons that are shown here, what those are actually doing in the background is creating rules inside of DW Spectrum. So what Dallan shared or showed was the ability to create soft triggers. You're also creating bookmarks on all the events. So you've automatically, with the click of a button, you're adding a bookmark rule, or you're adding a soft trigger rule, as Dallan demonstrated. So you don't have to go into the DW Spectrum rules engine and create rules. It's literally associate it with a device, click the button, and the rule is created for you automatically. Nothing to install on site, nothing to install on prem. You got two secure, no inbound port opening on either side, either for the access control or the video system. It's a secure connection between the two devices with a matter of clicks. So it really, you don't even have to be on site to make this integration work, which is just the beauty of it.
Yeah, and being cloud to cloud, one of the things that I love about that is, sometimes, in the past we've had integrations with devices, with on-prem devices, and they work great until there's an update on our side or on the other side, and then we're freaking out trying to get them connected again. With cloud to cloud integrations, the communication's happening independent of the software, which is really exciting. It's happening in the background through webhooks, which means that the connection, regardless of whether we make an update to our software or DW makes an upgrade to their software, the connections and the conversation that's happening in the background and the controls, those are independent of that. So I'm really excited about this. This is something you can depend on. This is something that will not break. And it's something I rely on to protect my house. To be honest with you, I have Digital Watchdog on my house and I love it. So I want to open this up to any questions. Are you open for that, Patrick? If there's any other questions, I know we've already had two.
Absolutely. Yeah, please
Okay.
share any questions you have. I mean, this video is just going to play in the background, basically um, showing what we just showed. This is also on YouTube, so you have this on YouTube. Any of your DW Spectrum or DW RSMs have availability to this video, we can get it to you. But please, I mean, that's the thing with this integration. It's so simple. We're sitting here, we can Dallan can teach us how to, hit them straight, and it's going to take more time, a lot more time than this integration. That's for sure.
Yep. And something I just want to say, if any of you have been on the fence about trying PDK, we know that you guys are loyal to DW, and we love that. If you're ever on the fence, reach out to us. We'll give you some extremely competitive pricing on a bill of materials and let you do one project with it. And I'm certain that if you do one project with PDK Digital Watchdog, that you will be hooked because this integration has been instrumental in us landing some really quality partners and some really quality end users. We get feedback from our dealers every day. They're like, "Hey, I probably couldn't have won this job 2 years ago with PDK." Let's see. How do we update an older cloud node to 2.0 in order to get this integration? That's a great question. So there's a migration tool coming. It is going into beta next week. What this is going to allow you to do, you can do it in beta. It's actually been in alpha for a long time because there's a lot of nuances to taking, let's say you have a customer that has 27 locations and merging them all together to work together. You won't have to do really anything other than click a button to update that cloud node, and you'll be able to take advantage of this integration. So that's going to be coming. If you want to be a part of the beta, you can reach out to Brad Baldwin, our VP of product. Just send him an email, brad.baldwin@ProdataKey.com. Let him know you want to be a part of the beta, and he will make you part of the beta, and you'll be able to have early access to converting older PDK cloud nodes to 2.0, and then take advantage of this integration. Thank you, Danny. Hopefully that answers your question. We got Ethan. Ethan says, with sites that do not have reliable internet connection, what are the issues that arise from gaps in communications between the cloud servers? So that's really interesting. So from a DW perspective and a PDK perspective, once you get them programmed, there really shouldn't be any issues. They'll just update the cloud when they have a better internet connection, but they should function normally. And especially if you're using a blackjack, correct me if I'm wrong, Patrick, but or one of the new cameras that has storage on itself. Are they the CAS cameras?
Yep.
It'll just save that information on there, and when it gets a reliable connection to the internet, it'll share it up. Do you want to speak more to that from the DW side, Patrick?
Yeah, exactly. And Dallan, you just hit on a big one is because we did get a lot of those with the old integrations. We got a lot of those requests for about CAS. And for those that don't know what CAS is, basically it's the camera and the VMS all in one. So we've got the Spectrum Media Server preloaded on the camera. We've got 1 TB of storage on the camera. So it is its own Spectrum system all within the camera. So it's a great edge device. Since there's nothing to install, you simply take that CAS camera and connect it to DW Cloud, and then you can have that CAS camera communicating with PDK. So opens up a whole new world of possibilities with this integration because we no longer have that on-prem install that we previously needed. We have that. That's the beauty of the cloud-to-cloud connection. I did see a question from Jamal about in terms of how do you search for it. So Jamal, what you do inside of Spectrum, you can look at on the right panel. If you click an icon, and I can bring this up inside of the actual software, but is all of the access control events are tagged as bookmarks. So you've got bookmarks there. Also, you have, and this is where I'll get out of the PowerPoint, and we'll switch over to, I just fired up a Spectrum system, not specific for PDK in this instance, but at least you can kind of see that we do have a bookmark log here. So all of the metadata that PDK is sharing with DW Spectrum, that means the front door, that means the user. So Dallan was access granted at the front door. All of that metadata that's contained within the bookmark is searchable in the bookmark log. So if you want to see, access control events by Dallan at the front door. Simply type in Dallan front door, and all the bookmarks that have that metadata in them are going to populate here. And then it's just a matter of clicking on the event, and you notice in the background there, if I move this off to the side here, the bookmark populated. So the bookmark shows up here, and just as it shows with the video on a PDK system, all of that information is tagged as part of the video. So couldn't be simpler. It worked, bookmarks, that's the way Spectrum works for all bookmarks, and PDK just takes advantage of that by writing those bookmarks with that click of that button in their system. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, and my advice is right now we advise our partners to use Spectrum as the dominant software and propose that to their customers, just because you're going to get all of that sharing already. All the events are already going to be on Spectrum. You're going to have all of the soft triggers already. They're going to be able to go back and forth as they want. But right now we're working on the two-way communication that's also going to pull, it's going to pull links and everything into PDKO that will allow you to click on that link within the report from PDKO and take you right to that clip in Spectrum. So that's to come. But for right now, we recommend definitely using Spectrum as the dominant software to your end user customers. They're going to have the best experience. They're going to have everything they need in Spectrum. But of course, they're welcome to use both.
And the beauty of inside of Spectrum, keep in mind, you can also bring in through the web. There's a built-in web browser inside of Spectrum, so you can bring the PDK interface and log into it and have that up side by side with your cameras right inside of this single pane of glass. So that's another avenue is to create a web page connection. So you would simply come down in here to the web page section and add a new web page and put the PDK system in here as a resource. And then once it's in the web pages, you can place it next to the cameras. So everything that's happening within that PDK system can be happening right inside of the single pane of glass.
I love that. That's such a cool feature. A little jealous. We got another question from Ethan. He said, follow-up question. If the client uses either a server, I think he's saying, does he mean severe secured firewall?
I think severe. Yeah.
Okay, severe secured firewall or a situation where no internet is desired for security purpose, is there an integration locally? So I do know that Digital Watchdog has some functionality there. Unfortunately, PDK is a cloud-based only, at this point, access control solution. Now, that being said, the government itself has a program put in place to make sure all government sites are cloud-based by 2030. It's called FedRAMP. So we're kind of living in the future. We don't really have a solution for on-prem or no internet right now, Ethan. So unfortunately, I hate to say this, PDK wouldn't be a good fit in that situation where they don't want any internet, because you do need internet to utilize PDK to its fullest potential.
But I'll say you do have applications in super secure facilities. I think if you have the discussion and you bring PDK in, and just as well as you bring Digital Watchdog in, we can have that conversation about the security measures that are in place. Because this solution has been deployed in what do you say? Severe secured firewall situations.
We're on Air Force bases. We're on locations that have FIPS requirements. Now, again, PDK we are not FIPS certified, but we are FIPS compliant. We have a ton of very secure locations that we are used for. So I'd love to be a part of the conversation with the end user customer with you, just to ask a few more questions and see, because a lot of times, they think that they need no internet, but really once they look at our white paper and see that no inbound ports are required, a lot of times that will resolve it. Sometimes not, Ethan. But again, we have a lot of white papers on very secure facilities that we're a part of. So we'd love to share that with you. But that's a great question. I wish I could say we're the right solution for every single install, but 99% of the time PDK is the right solution. Sounds like DW's got 100% covered. We're 99.
It's always worth having the conversation.
It is. Any other questions? And thank you all so much again for your time. I know that this is time that you could be out installing, selling, improving your business. So the fact that you're here with us, I'm honored by that, and I just love talking to the security industry. I've been in the security industry for 5 years. I don't think I'll ever leave. I love working with Digital Watchdog. Again, they're our first love, man, and we're going to treat them accordingly. So we appreciate this opportunity, Patrick. And again, PDK is here to support any of you at a very high level. If there's anything that you need, give us a shot. Let's check out a bill of materials. And for those of you that already use PDK, thank you so much. We appreciate it, and look forward to this integration just getting better over time.
Well, Dallan, thanks for joining us. I appreciate the time. Like Dallan said, we're at the top levels, we're interacting on a daily basis. Anybody has any questions, by all means, reach out to us. We can make it happen. Dallan, thanks for the time again. All right.
Of course.
Everybody have a good day.
Have a great day, everybody.